So I walk into the changing room and he goes, "Don't mess with the Russians."
And there were even stories about him back then. When he played in the CHL, there were rumors that his dad bought the team just to push him up in the draft.
Or to anyone. I mean, you know me, right? Who would I hurt? Come on, it just...
Your first trade is like a first love. You can never forget it.
For the team, everyone's like, wow, that kind of adrenaline.
Yeah.
McDavid will beat Tucker to the puck. Chip it out, nurse a drive, and a save, and rebound, score! It's Podkolzin, and did he need that? His eighth, and Edmonton takes its first lead of the night, 2-1.
Yeah, there's nothing special about my chest protector.
Yeah, the one and only.
I've had it since Vitya's times. Yeah, it's holding up, thank God. That's it, really.
Man, you kept more than just the chest protector from Vitya's. You also brought your knockout skills from Podolsk, like in that game against Nashville. I talked about that highlight with Vladislav Gavrikov. He told me if I ever play against Vasily, I'll steer around him like, no thanks.
Nah, me and Gavrikov, we're cool. I'd never do that to him, or to anyone. I mean, you know me, right? Who would I hurt? Come on, just one of those things that happen.
I don't hurt people for no reason, but if I have to, I can knock someone out.
It's just one of those things, yeah. I don't know. It's hard to say. This whole thing's like, I'm not sure how to judge it. I mean, if I'd taken a hit like that, I probably would have gone down too. It's not like I've got any training. I mean, I never did boxing or anything like that. Although I've always been into that stuff, Like, I watch UFC and all that and all the fights. I like watching it. But I've never actually been involved in it myself, you see. No one's ever taught me how to throw a punch.
Okay, jokes aside, I mean, look, that was intense. That was epic. That was totally awesome. I won't lie to you, because that's part of the game, part of hockey. When you walked into the locker room, I bet this is your street cred where the guys must have shot up, right?
Yeah.
Like, they're all going, man, Vasily really clocked that guy today.
Yeah, part of me, for sure, was really proud of the cred. Some part of me. I mean, look, on the one hand... I'm not really usually into that stuff, but on the other, of course, it was for the team. Everyone's like, wow, that kind of adrenaline.
Yeah.
It's just a rush, especially when he looked that good. So, that was, definitely a highlight moment, yeah.
What was the funniest thing the guy said to you after the fight? Any good jokes, maybe?
They were all like Russian. Like that.
Crazy Russian.
Yeah, like crazy Russian. I still remember what Evander Kane said. He came in, well, he's injured now, out long term, so he's receiving treatment here. So we get back from the road trip from Nashville, and so I walk into the changing room, and he goes, "Don't mess with the Russians." Yeah, that's us, yeah. So yeah, well, I mean, we had a good laugh about it, and little jabs like that, they're fun.
Recognize him? Do you know who's called the Great One in hockey? Of course, fans from Russia would say Alexander Ovechkin. But in Canada, and long before, this title belonged to and still belongs to Wayne Gretzky. Probably one of the most legendary players not only in Canada, but in the entire world. Wayne started his career in the WHA, the World Hockey Association. Back then, there were the NHL and the WHA, like two major leagues. In 1979, the NHL and WHA merged, and that's how Gretzky, as part of the Edmonton team, entered the NHL and became a superstar. One time he set a record by scoring 92 goals in a single season. Actually, Gretzky holds many records, but more on that a bit later. Because after Oilers, Wayne played for the Kings, the St. Louis Blues, the Rangers, and right up until the end of his career, he displayed the highest level of professionalism and skill. I'm sure many hockey fans had posters of him on their walls. To this day, Gretzky holds 61 NHL records. Just think about those numbers: 894 goals, 1,963 assists, and a total of 2,857 points over his career. Amazing. Your first trade is like a first love. You can never forget it. Something totally new hits your life, and bam, it just sticks with you forever. So you've got a pretty story about how it all went down. Let's rewind and talk about that day.
Firstly, when something new like that happens, you really don't know how to react at first. So it went like that. I was working out. I just finished practice. The weekend was coming up. as I recall. So Sasha and I went to IKEA because we found a great apartment in Vancouver, and we were moving in and getting stuff for the place. We had already bought something like some nice dishes or whatever, and so we're driving to IKEA. Then I get a call from the general manager of Vancouver. And I knew right away something was up. Not that I exactly knew what, but it was obvious. It wasn't a casual, hey, how's your summer going? The whole call lasted maybe a minute and a half. He said, hey, tough call for you, but we've traded you to Edmonton. They were really interested in you, and well, the deal's done. We've traded you. Then he goes, thanks, you're a good player, a good person. And that was it. I said, thanks for everything. I pulled the car over right away. I mean, I didn't want to, freak out on the road. And so we turned around and went straight home.
And that first moment when you learned, did it upset you or were you excited?
I was in shock. I don't even know how to describe that feeling. I can't say I was happy exactly. It was more like some sort of confusion, like, wait, what did I do now? Then about a minute later, I get a call from our new GM. I mean, Edmonton's GM, Stan Bowman. He said, welcome to the team, we're excited to have you, we hope you'll help us win. The first goal was a minute and a half, the second goal was a minute and a half. Oh, and then he told me the usual thing, that someone would reach out to me to handle the moves, so yeah, that was it.
So you headed home to pack?
No, of course not. First, I believe we went out to dinner that evening. Me, Sasha, and some of the Russian guys. Nikita Talapila came too with his wife. All the Russian guys, he lived there in Vancouver. We just sat there looking at each other. I just couldn't, I couldn't really process it, basically. There was a funny moment too. Nikita Talopila, he told me, so did Connor text you yet? I said, no, I don't think he's supposed to, I don't know. And then he sneaks up to the bathroom with his wife's phone and texts me like, hey, this is Sullivan, from an unknown number. Well, when Connor did actually text me the day later, I thought it was him again. But the next day...
What did Connor write to you?
He wrote, welcome, if you have any questions, feel free to ask, good to have you, They all said they're looking forward to training together, getting ready as a team.
A few words about the team we'll be watching. The club's name consists of two words: Edmonton, the city where the team is based, and Oilers, the actual team name. But before 1973, the club was called the Alberta Oilers, named after the province. The team is also nicknamed the Oilmen, which makes sense. In fact, the team is legendary. In the 1980s, they struck fear into the entire NHL. No wonder, they won the Stanley Cup 5 times in just 1 decade. Back then, Edmonton was even called the City of Champions. Just think about it. 1984, 1985, 2 years in a row they win the Stanley Cup, and then again in 1987 and 1988. And the last cup came in 1990. Speaking of Hyman, you brought him up earlier. The guy and his family, they bought and currently own multiple CHL teams. They've even got a personal shopper. It's just, they're incredibly wealthy. But Hyman still hits the ice on daily basis, still trains, still earns it. And he never comes off like some spoiled rich guy or anything. No arrogance at all. On the contrary, he sets an example of some sort. There's that stereotype about rich kids that they don't care about anything, They do everything half-heartedly and so on and so forth. And there were even stories about him back then. When he played in the CHL, there were rumors that his dad bought the team just to push him up in the draft. I don't know if that's true or not, but the point is, he's some sort of model version of a rich kid.
Yeah.
What does he do it?
Because he loves hockey. I really do like Hyman a lot, both as a person and as a player. In the future, if I think about where I want to be in the next 5 years and talk about my ambitions, ideally I want to be like him. For example, scoring that much and still working as hard as he does and playing with great line mates. I remember when he got traded from Toronto, someone tweeted how does Toronto expect to win the Stanley Cup if they're trading Hyman? And there's always something to that. When you look at him, it seems like he already has everything in life. I have a lot of respect for him. Despite everything, he treats you and everyone around him the same. No ego, no attitude, We can assume he's from a really good family, I think, He's well-mannered, a humble guy, always willing to help. But you can just see that straight away in a person. I would have never ever said that he's from a wealthy family if I didn't know. I honestly wouldn't even have ever thought that in my life, that his family is rich and whatnot. And honestly, just think how tough that probably was for him at times, especially in childhood during his teen years, you know? Yeah, and in the end, look at him. You know, Hyman's one of the stars of the league. Things definitely got heated after that. Still, I don't know. I don't want to criticize the league's decision, but I think 3 games for both of them. I mean, Myers and McDavid.
Is Edmonton, can we call Edmonton a hockey city?
Oh, you'll see in a little bit.
What's he like in real life, like day to day? And C, the most interesting one, they say something like, if we'd had a guy like Podkolzin last year, we probably would have won the Cup.